My name is Sharyn Clarkson. I'm Assistant Secretary Online Services Branch. We created a whole of government open source content management system for websites called GovCMS. So GovCMS started as an idea to innovate a new product and service. In fact, what we ended up doing was innovating in how we started the whole service, because we actually had to do it as if we were a startup, without money and without very much material. The third thing that we did, which I think is really quite different, is we really upended that shared services model. We decided that we wanted to know what would happen if we sought to govern, but we didn't seek to control. And what if we created a shared service that was community-based, where people came together and created once and shared with everyone? And what if we created a culture that made it just really easy to share, really easy to support each other, and really easy to collaborate and innovate? And I think that's what's been the biggest success, is that it is a culture that's built around GovCMS and around that community that's really supportive and empowering people, and now we're not the only ones innovating. We had a couple of small challenges in that we didn't have any money, we had no upfront investment, we had no resources. We had no policy directional mandate, and we had no burning platform. We just had a really good idea. The first time we ever raised the idea that this could be done differently in a way that would really work, we got a pretty much a flat no. And that often happens when you first raise ideas that are different or innovative. It's usually about picking a timing. I don't think failure is a comfortable term for any government agency. I don't think that we ever felt concerned. We manage risk by doing things in small chunks, proving the case and then moving on to the next piece. The Department of Finance has been interested in innovation for at least 3 years, talking about it, and they've had innovation champion John Sheridan since early 2014. I prefer a more organic approach, and my branch really operates very bottom up in terms of the innovation that we create. In fact, we've got ourselves in a situation now where we really do have our own little recipe for creating innovation, and we are churning things out every few months. I have noticed in the APS quite generally that there is a pervasive belief or culture that people believe that they can't change their environment, that it's too difficult to change things. I have to say my experience of doing innovation in the Department of Finance has been incredibly easy. So sometimes the reality doesn't match the perceptions we have about what we can and can't do. It's all about starting small and building evidence, and the best story that you can possibly tell is the user story. Don't start by trying to change the whole world, your whole department or your entire division. Don't try and change other teams. Look at your own team, what you do, what you have control of, and look at what you can change about the way you operate and what kind of story you can tell from what you tried, what worked and what didn't, and how you can build that iteratively. One of the hardest things that we've had to learn is how not to make rules. So in the end, we decided that if the community was the most important feature of GovCMS, everything gets tested against the community. So in other words, if something happens, we ask ourselves, do we need a rule? If we have a rule, is that detrimental to the community or does it support the community? What would happen if we didn't have a rule? What do we have to do instead? Do we have to educate? Do we have to lead by example? It is really hard not to automatically reach for rules every step of the way. It's, I think, the hardest thing we've had to learn to do.